Good evening and afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. This is Spellbinder's report on the Unfiltered News headlines from the Reality Zone, compiled by g.edward Griffin. This is for May 21st through the 27th of 2011. The first thing is this comic strip, which is now showing that the Patriot Act being passed for another 4 years and still in violations of the Constitution. Dozens of violations. When will we ever learn to stop them? U.S. Congress passes and Obama signs a 4-year extension of the misnamed Patriot Act. The amendments introduced by Senator Rand Paul to protect personal rights were soundly rejected. One of Paul's amendments would have restricted the government's power to obtain gun ownership records of law-abiding citizens. The National Rifle Association, which is anti-gun, a so-called conservative and gun rights organization, sent letters to lawmakers saying it was not taking a position on this issue. Yahoo, May 27. G8 countries, following the lead of the U.S., will spend $40 billion to topple Arab regimes unfriendly to the G8 governments and their corporate partners. They claim they are bringing democracy to those nations, but their version of democracy is a new world order with little regard for the people. G8 countries are staggering under debt and economic crisis. This funding will add to that burden. USA Today, May 27. The U.S. federal judge rules that banning corporate donations to political candidates is unconstitutional because corporations have the same right as people. Sure they do, just like cows have the same right as people, and horses and houses, and yes, Yahoo, May 27th. New Jersey withdraws from 10-state climate pact that is slated to implement cap-and-trade politics. Bravo, now for the other 9. Yes, everyone's waking up that the climate pact is a fraud and a scam to extract money from you. This is from the New York Times, May 26. U.S. Congressional Democrats push bill to speed up military withdrawal from Afghanistan. Pardon our cynicism, but if they are in such a hurry, why have they passed every funding bill for the war without question? Could this just be another show to look good to the voters in the upcoming election year? Both parties have had the power to end these wars if they really wanted to. As Lenin said, words are one thing, actions another. Namarkachi, May 26. Google, in a video, is launching Tap to Pay, a cashless cell phone payment system that is leading towards the end of physical currency. Yes, just think how wonderful it will be when your every purchase, no matter how small, will be recorded in a computer along with the time and date and your physical location. WKRG.com, May 26th. That's right, they're pushing the cashless society so they can cut you off if you don't agree with them. This is all control and dominate of collectivism. U.S. Senator says there is a secret Patriot Act. That's right, which means the public's understanding of it is different than how it is interpreted by government. His amendment requiring the Attorney General to explain the legal basis for collecting data on Americans was blocked by the Senate. Secrecy News, May 25th. That's right. You're looking at, you have to understand, when you hear them talk, they're using words that you know one definition, but they have another definition. Just use Black's Law book to define their definition. U.S. Obama announced a plan to merge Department of Homeland Security with Pentagon and NSA to give it expanded power to monitor and control civilian use of the Internet, to protect against terrorism, of course. InfoWars, May 25th. European Parliament wants PIGS, or PIGS, Portugal's, Ireland, and Italy, Greece, and Spain to pledge their gold as collateral for bank loans of fiat money, fake money, like our money. It's only worth the paper it's printed on, which is 2 cents. When they default on their debt, those clever bankers walk away with thousands of tons of gold in exchange for their paper money created out of nothing. Zero Hedge, May 25th. Texas legislator previously proposed a bill to prohibit TSA abusive searches at airports, and everyone cheered. Now the federal government has threatened to cancel all flights in Texas if the legislation is passed. Now the sponsor of the bill has withdrawn his support, and the issue is dead. TAC, May 25th. Two new studies show that medical doctors may be hazardous to your health. They often make mistakes because they are sleep deprived and they are biased towards pharmaceuticals as treatments of choice, when non-toxic therapies may be better and safer. Also cheaper. Natural News, May 25th. Yes, this is getting to be a police state, leading inch by inch towards despotism and collectivism. Hedge fund managers are buying huge swaths of farmland globally in anticipation of doomsday, famine, and skyrocketing food prices. This is causing rising prices for farmland and in turn is increasing the food prices, thus helping to fulfill its own prophecy by starving us to death. Natural News, May 23rd. U.S. federal government is considering a proposal to require all new cars to include a data recording device known as a black box that will keep a record of your driving performance, including speed and steering. Most cars with airbags already have one. Wired, May 23rd. Researchers say Japanese government and TEPCO covered up a meltdown at Fukushima No. 1 reactor for almost 2 months. That's the Mancini News, May 23rd. Manichi, after the Manichia. U.S. State and local governments have run out of federal so-called stimulus money and are broke. Unless they go back begging to Washington, they will have to cut 450,000 government jobs in addition to the 300,000 already cut this year. That would be a hardship for 450,000 people, but a big boost for everyone else. Reuters, May 23rd. Utah becomes the first state to officially legalize gold and silver as currency. 12 other states are now considering similar legislation. This is a positive step in the right direction. However, beware that this article makes the gold standard sound like a bad idea. In truth, a gold standard set by market forces and not manipulated by government is a very good idea. Indeed. Raw story, May 23rd. A video. U.S. Senator Rand Paul gives a crystal clear explanation of how the Patriot Act is being used to snoop on U.S. citizens' bank records, emails, and phone conversations under the excuse of fighting terrorism. YouTube, May 23rd. Internet companies are lobbying to remove child privacy protection laws that prohibit kids under 13 from joining Facebook and other social networks. Why? Because children are defenseless against advertising, and they represent a potentially huge marketplace for the corporations. Digital Life, May 23rd, U.S. A lawsuit is pending against the federal government on behalf of families of the victims of 9/11, that is. It seeks to build a case for the claim that Iran was complacent in the terrorist attacks, and the prosecution is basing its case on the testimony of 3 Iranian defectors. Yahoo, May 23rd. U.S. Department of Agriculture has threatened to fine a family more than $90,000 because they sold over $500 worth of rabbits. I did a video on that. In a year, which allegedly is in violation of some law that was not identified. The family sold $4,600 in rabbits last year and made $200 in profit. If they do not pay the $90,000 fine within a few days, penalties and additional fines will be added to a total of $4 million. Collectivism is strangling America. Natural News, May 22nd. U.S. Plague of stink bugs is wreaking havoc on crops in 33 states. Apple harvest is 1/5 destroyed, and the bugs are now attacking cherries, tomatoes, grapes, lima beans, soybeans, green peppers, and peaches. This plus floods, droughts, chemical pollution from the sky, and crushing government regulations add up to food shortage in the near future. Yes, expect paying $5 to $10 for a loaf of bread soon. Biblically told that would happen too. Daily Mail, also history of Germany. When their money became so worthless, they were taking wheelbarrows to get a loaf of bread. May 21st, okay. Japan, radioactive sludge from damaged nuclear power plant is being disposed of by selling it to manufacturers of cement. It's not clear how dangerous this may be for those occupying structures made with the cement, but experts claim that radiation levels are dropping rapidly and are not expressing concern. SKF, May 21st. CIA director puts a gag on his staff against providing information on the Bin Laden raid. Whistleblowers are threatened with imprisonment. Of course, this has nothing to do with covering up the fact that Bin Laden actually died several years ago. It is only to protect information that could jeopardize future similar operations. Right? The Hindustani Times, May 21st. UK cell phones are used to make payments for small items. This is a pilot program that is expected soon to replace bank cards. Don't worry about the banks. They still will be in the middle of clearing payments between accounts. This is the next big step towards a cashless society in which all transactions will be processed by computers. Financial privacy will be history. IB Times, May 21st. Video, mighty rabbit attack. Large snake and chases it into a tree. Hard to believe, YouTube. Yes, a rabbit attacks a snake and chases it into a tree. That would be an interesting video. You should see that one. China is investing aggressively in the U.S. natural resources, including minerals, oil, gas, precious metals, and rare earth elements. They also have been active in stealing American technology and are planning special economic zones inside the U.S. The Chinese government still considers the U.S. as a nation to be subdued. The New American, May 21st. Video, Tennessee police commit highway robbery by stopping vehicles and confiscating cash under the excuse of the war on drugs. Many who are stopped are not even charged with a crime. Police are paid out of the money they confiscate. Yes, they have created a crime syndicate with the police force by having this war on drugs, because they use it for an excuse to say, oh, you have what, $200? You're using that for drugs. Give that to me. Now get out of here. Ha 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 ha. It's mine. YouTube, May 21st. The continuing U.S. intervention in Libya. It remains unchallenged by Congress and sets dangerous precedents for the future wars and dictatorial powers to wage them. PPJ Gazette, May 27. U.S. man gets food stamps even after winning the lottery. Is that proper? The state says his winnings are an asset, and that makes it okay. Otherwise, those with equity in their homes, assets, would also be cut off, even though they have minimal income. Should they be denied welfare just because they own their homes? The bigger question is, should anyone get food stamps from the government, taxpayers? Is the proper function of the state to redistribute wealth? Think about it. As usual, the real issues are behind the headlines. MSNBC, May 19th. Nevada Planning Committee members say Federal Bureau of Land Management has become an arm of the Crown, which is an investment consortium of the world's largest bank controlled from the city, which is the financial center in London. He says that they have acquired vast water and gold rights in his state, and most people are totally unaware. Include short video explaining the Crown. PPJ Gazette. Another video, College Conspiracy, is a new documentary about the coming bubble in the college debt and the futility of a college education in the coming crisis and the value of a real education online. NIA, May 14th. Well, that looks like that's about it. That's it for today. Until next time, this is Spellbinder reporting on the Unfiltered news for your enjoyment. I'll have links at the bottom in the description, or the link to this reality zone, current period. Thank you for watching. Good day.